Hello, Randy Rain here, and if I had to pick a favorite robot that wasn't made by Tomy, I'd pick this guy. This is
Randy Robot Garage.
So what we have here is the Playtime Productions SkateBot. Came out somewhere in the 80s. Playtime Productions was this USA company, and they eventually bought out, I think. Anyway, they made a bunch of cool robots. They were all right. This is actually a pretty neat little robot, and I'll show you why later. And I've already done a video on this a long time ago, but forget that video. Anyway, this one has a very damaged battery compartment, but it has the battery door. And if we go to my original one here that I had, I recreated the battery door. So now I can copy a battery door for this one, and I can get this one working. So let's get started. So if you look at my original one, it's 1986, made in Hong Kong. And if you look at this one, it's 1987, made in China. And you can see where the metal mold was like drilled out, and they replaced the 1986 with the 1987. You can see how bad this is, and you can see this piece was here, and I see glue where someone's tried to glue this back and just didn't do a very good job of it. It needs new terminals, but it has the battery door, and I think you can look at my battery door that I made. It's pretty close. I was just guessing. I had nothing to look at. I just guessed that would work, and that's what would work, and that was pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and start on the battery door and get that going. It's going to need to be a squeeze mold. So the first thing to do is to build it up on a little mound of clay. And since these are the sides here, it makes the cup this way. The cup goes down. And the clay needs to go all the way up to the bottom edge there. So as people ask me what this is just paper. It's just some thick black paper that I have. I use all kinds of stuff. You can use foam board, poster board, fiber board, wood board, plastic board. Now I'll go ahead and make some registration marks here. So I'm using Mold Max 30, and it's you mix it by weight 1 to 10, but I don't measure it out. I've used this stuff so much that I can tell by the color and how pink it is. One of the reasons I like this stuff. You can see why I never show the vacuum chamber. You can't see anything anyway. So you can see it's pretty bubble free now. I can go ahead and pour the rest in. Alright, this plastic is all shattered. It's missing terminals. We have a shattered gear. There's some sort of weird oily stuff that's caused reactions here. This piece is supposed to be rubber, but it's hard as a rock. This just got a lot more difficult than I expected it to be. Okay, go ahead and take this robot off of here. The robot's all glued together, so there's not much you can do about that, but there's nothing in there anyway. It's a little dirty. It's a little dirty. Alright, I'm afraid I don't have this gear. I need to get this off. That's what I'm going to do next. This wheel spins, and it's only connected to the shaft on this one. Hopefully I can get it off. This gear is different. The pitch and the... not really the pitch, I don't guess. I guess it's the tooth length is different. They seem to ride fine. But this is much finer tooth than this. So with this gear, to make it easy, I'm not going to do this hub. I'm going to leave that off. So I'm just going to take some clay and mash it in. Meanwhile, the battery door side is done. Now as for a release agent, just take some petroleum jelly and then thin it down with some 3-in-1 oil. I'll go ahead and take my original one apart. At least enough to get this thing out. As you can see, this is rubber. This is what it's supposed to be. This is broken. This is hard as a rock. This crumbles. It's supposed to do that. I am just going to put a single drop This is just going to be a dump mold, so I'm just going to hot glue the whole thing down. Alright, to work on this thing now. First, I'm going to glue this piece back. I also have baking soda and black iron oxide. These get mixed together. Can't put anything inside here because the battery terminal piece has to go in there. It slots in, but I can back here. So to reinforce this, and I can put some here on this crack. Now for the rest of this, I gotta fill it in. So I'm gonna take some saran wrap here, put some clay underneath it, You can see there's supposed to be a slot just like this side over here. So I don't have to get it all the way to the edge. And I can just clean this up. So I've taken just some brass sheet that you can buy at the hobby store. I've cut it so it'll slot into here, and it'll also have this little tab that can hold it in place. Then I have to cut out the terminals, and now they have to be bent out. So how did this go in here? It's like this. So now these little terminals have to be bent out this way. It should look something like that. I can also take a piece of wood here and then put a screwdriver on this right in the center. Give it a little pounding. Of course, with the other one, just bend it into place. I can also put a little divot on this one. And go in there like that. So we can bend over right there. So I want it to just bend it like that. I believe that will work. I can cut it somewhere here. Give it a, just mark it. Alright, here's a little trick of mine. Take a little piece like this and just cut some slots. You flip it over and do the same thing on this side. And you can start rolling it over. Go ahead and cut it off until you have something like that. Those little slots you can bend over one side. You really just got to get it started for now. Be fine. Then we'll put the other end through the hole. And just use this hammer. Hold that. Use that hammer to back it up. And I can bend this side over. Just use this bigger hammer as an anvil. Okay, there's some batteries in it. It looks like they're all making connection. Alright, for the bumper, I'm going to use Vitaflex 60. And I tinted the catalyst part red. I'm going to be using the Smooth Cast Onyx. This is the fast stuff. Alright, let's see what we have here. I believe that will work. Still a little soft. Needs to cure just a little bit more. I got a few little air bubbles in there. It's still a little soft. Jeez. So I redid the wiring, and they had it backwards with the red and the black on the positive and negative. So I fixed it because that's annoying. Then I went to put this piece back, and as soon as I moved it, it has a little notch thing. The little arm broke off, flew somewhere. I have no clue where that went to. So now this doesn't work. So I'm not going to mold that entire thing. I'm just going to try to get that arm. So quite honestly, I'm kind of getting sick of molding this stuff. This was supposed to be an easy one. So interesting enough, it's actually yellower where it was hidden by the robot. I don't know what all that's about, but I'm not going to argue with it. Alright, it's not completely cured, but that's what I want. Alright, this falls under the category of one of these things where you just got to make it work. Anchor some clay here, and to keep it from spilling out, I'm going to push this piece up here. I'll put some clay on the back side. This has to get glued to here. Now, please work. Weights go in there. Now I need to get this thing together before it falls apart more. But check that out. There's my little rubber piece that I made. That fits there. That piece is in. My gear didn't survive the skate park. Kind of worried about that. So I made another one using Smooth Cast 325. Also used the pressure pot and got all the air bubbles out of it. So the Smooth Cast 325 is a little more flexible. It's not as brittle. So hopefully doing it in a pressure pot and getting the air bubbles, it'll hold up for a while. That sure was some rad thrashing, huh? They still say rad thrashing, right? I think I used that joke on the first SkateBot video. But anyway, if you stuck around this long, sure would appreciate a like. If you want to see more like this, I put out a video every Saturday, so you might want to hit that subscribe button. I want to thank these people right here. These are patrons. These are people helping me out. These are people that allow me to do this, and I couldn't do it without them. So, if you enjoy the stuff and you want to help out, go hit the Patreon button. And also, do I really need 2 SkateBots? Look for this one on eBay. Link below. Anyway, that was
Randy Robot Garage.